Hello, my dear students. Welcome to English by Heart channel, a channel for ICSE and ISC tutorial. In my last video, I have completed Act 1, Scene 2 till Brutus's this speech, which is line number 85. Here it is line number 90, that means till 89 was completed. I have completed explanation till this much in my last video. Today, I'll explain you Cassius' speech, Act 1, Scene 2, starting from line number 90. This book I'm following is Roma Gill. Roma Gill, Cassius' speech, Act 1, Scene 2, from line number 90. So, Cassius says, I know that virtue to be in you. So Cassius is saying that I know, Brutus, all your good qualities. I know your good qualities, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Outward favor means appearance. As I know, as you are familiar to me from your outward appearance, similarly, I know your mind, which is virtuous. Well, honor is the subject of my story. Honor is what I want to discuss. Story means point of discussion. So, honor is my point of discussion. Here, story means discussion. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, think of this kind of life, the life which we are leading or we will be leading. But for my single self, according to me, according to my life or according for me, I had as life not be, I would rather not live. I would rather not live at all, but as live to be in awe of such a thing as myself. So he says that I rather not live at all than stand in a rather not live as life not be, as life to be in awe of, in fear of. I'm not ready to live in fear of such a thing. Such a thing he refers to Caesar. He refers to Caesar, that I'm not going to live. He directly does not take the name of Caesar, but he mentions that he is not ready to live under domination or under the fear of someone or something as I myself, as a man. As a true man, I am not going to accept a life which I have to live in fear of someone. That kind of life I am not going to accept. I was born free as Caesar. So I was born as a free person. So were you, similarly you, Brutus. We all were born free. We both have fed as well, we have eaten well, and we can both endure the winter's cold. That means we are so strong. We are strong enough to face the winter's cold as well as he. He here is Caesar. So we are all equal. As Caesar has food, Caesar needs food to live. Caesar eats well. Caesar can tolerate winter's cold. So do we. For once upon a raw and gusty day means very cold and windy. So he gives one example that once there was a very harsh and windy day, that troubled Tiber. Tiber is a river Tiber, chafing with her shores, overflowing. Chafing means overflowing with her shores. At that point of time, when both of them were together, Cassius and Caesar, once Cassius and Caesar were together near the river Tiber, and at that time river Tiber was overflowing its shores. Caesar said to me, darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood. So at that time Caesar said to me that, Cassius, do you dare to jump with me into this rough water? Darest thou, Cassius, now leap? Leap means jump. In means into the river. With me, that means with Caesar, into the angry flood. Here he says angry flood. Angry flood means the water was having a strong current. Okay, the water was having a strong current, or that it was overflowing, and swim to yonder point, swim yonder distant, and they will swim to a distant point. Upon the word, so they will swim till this distant point. Upon the word, accrouted as I was. So as soon as he said that, upon the word means at the moment Caesar said that, accrouted means dressed. Though I was wearing my dress, though I was dressed, means still in his clothes, I plunged in. He dived into Tiber, the river, and bade him follow. And bade him follow, he told to follow him swimming. So indeed he did. So he also, Caesar also jumped into the river, and both of them, the torrent roar. Torrent roar means the current, the roar of the flood, the roar of the water. The water roared, and we did buffet it. Buffet it, we also fought it strong. We both were swimming against the current with lusty sinews. Sinews means muscle. With strong muscle, we were swimming, throwing it aside. Throwing it aside means pushing the waters aside, and stemming it. Stemming means overcoming. Stemming it with hearts of controversy. Hearts of controversy means with competitive nature. Both were swimming. Stemming means thrusting. We were pushing the waters with all our strength and trying to overcome it with our competitive heart. But before we could arrive the point proposed, the finishing point, all the meanings I have written, children, you can see. If you want, you can read. Points proposed, Caesar cries, that means before we could finish our swimming competition, before we could reach the finishing line, what happened? Caesar cried, help me, Cassius, or I sink. So all of a sudden I saw, or Cassius is saying, all of a sudden he saw that Caesar was crying for help as he was sinking. I, as Aeneas. Who is Aeneas? Aeneas is the founder of Rome. Aeneas is a founder of Rome. So therefore means a spiritual ancestor, our great ancestor. As he is the founder of Rome, so Cassius addresses him as our great ancestor. Did from flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I tide Caesar. So he compares himself with Aeneas, the founder of Rome. So Cassius compares himself with Aeneas because how he saved Caesar, like Aeneas carried his father Anchises, and old Anchises was father of Caesar. So once Aeneas saved his father, old Anchises, from the flames of Troy from the fire of Troy. Once what happened is that he was a Trojan, they were the Trojan who, when once Troy was captured, is a Greek city, it was captured and was set to fire. So at that point of time, Aeneas saved his old father by bearing him on his back. He carried his father on his back and saved him from burning. Similarly, Cassius also carried tired. Caesar got tired. Caesar got tired while fighting with the water or while swimming so fast. So he also saved Caesar carried Caesar from the waters of river Tiber, from the waves or from the water of Tiber. And this man is now become a god. So once a person, he is comparing Caesar, that who could not swim across Tiber, he has become so powerful as God. People are praising him. People are praising him as a god. And Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body, and Cassius is a poor creature. In Cassius, who once saved Julius Caesar from drowning, now Cassius has become a weak creature or a poor creature who has to bend his body. Bend his body means who has to bow down and accept Caesar's slavery. If Caesar carelessly but nods on him, if Caesar carelessly nods my way, responds to just talk to him to bend. If Caesar tells him to bend, then now Cassius has to bend in front of Caesar. That is why he says, if Caesar carelessly but nod on him if he responds, carelessly nods my way. He had a fever. So these are few weaknesses which Cassius is pointing out. One is that he was almost on the verge of drowning once when they had a swimming competition in Tiber. Second example he gives is, once Caesar was in Spain, he had a fever when he was in Spain. Caesar once had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, means when he was having shivering. Fit means shivering. When there was a shivering because of high temperature. I did mark how he did shake. How he did shake, there was shivering. Then what happened? Tis true, this god means Caesar, did shake, his coward lips did from their colors fly. That means at that point of time his lips became pale. And that same eye whose bend doth awe the world, and the same eyes that whose gaze, the same eyes whose bend means look or gaze, doth awe the world means the world is afraid, terrifies the world, did lose the lustre means the shine, the brightness, the lips became pale. I did hear him groan, that means he was groaning because of the high temperature. Yes, and that tongue of his what happened to his tongue? His tongue of his that bade the Romans, the tongue which with the help of tongue we speak. So he says with his tongue with which he commands the Romans, he orders the Romans, mark him to listen to him and write his speeches in their books and transcribe his speeches in their book, to write down his speeches in their book. Alas, it cried. Cried means Caesar. It means Caesar, give me some drink. Titanius. So Titanius, so he called out Titanius and then he asked for some water. So there is no extraordinary power in Caesar. What Cassius wants to point out, that like a common man, he shivers in high temperature, in fever. When he has fever, his lips dries out, his tongue dries out, his lips becomes pale and his tongue dries out and he asks for water, which anyone will do. As a sick girl means as just a little girl who is sick asks for water, her this becomes pale, lips becomes pale. Yea, gods, it doth amaze me. It was surprising, a man of such feeble temper. Temper means feeble temper means body constitution, who is having such a weak constitution, should so get the start. Start means head. Get the start, go ahead of the majestic world and bear the palm alone. Now carry, palm is the means palm leaves. Palm is the kind of tree, that means that is a symbol of a, a conqueror. So a palm leaf is given to a conqueror, someone, to a ruler who is who is victorious, who captures the world. So such a common person, he who does not have any extraordinary power, who behaves like any common person, who shouts, he cannot, he gets tired while swimming, he cannot save himself, for he calls, at that point of time he called Cassius to save him from drowning, and then now he is calling Titanius to give him some water. He feels thirsty, his lips become dry during illness, during high fever. So where is the extraordinary thing, extraordinary power? And he is the person who is ruling the world, and the world is giving him a palm leaf, which is a symbol or the prize which a victor carries. So now here one character we have, that is Titanius. He is a friend. He is Caesar's friend. Now Brutus flourished trumpet. Again they hear the sound of trumpet, and then what happens? A shouting is heard. A general shout. General shout means common people. A shout from common people. Brutus, I do believe that these applauses means shouting and clapping, are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar. So they are just, I told you, they're just standing on the side of one side of the street, and what is going on in the podium over there in the Lupercal. So these things they are only hearing. These are occurring, or these are taking place in the backstage, and on the stage there are only Brutus and Cassius. So we'll stop till here. It's a lengthy scene. Again we continue. So that's all for today, and what I want to say, that if you like this video, if you like my explanation, please share it with your friend if you find it helpful and useful. Don't forget to share it with your friend, that will help them also. And further, if you want any explanation of any chapter, any drama, short story, poem, or your English language paper, any grammar question or essay topic, discussion on any essay topic, letter writing, report writing, notice writing, email writing, proposal writing, please put your requisition in the comment box. I'll read your comment and try to take up those topics in my next video. So thank you for watching, and if you think it is helpful, then please don't forget to like, share and subscribe.